Welcome to Hair Impact. I'm Cassandra Hilos, your host, and today we're going to talk about 5 books that I totally recommend. I have them in my library and I read them all the time, and they're amazing books. These books actually have a bit of science in them, or mostly science, but in a way that somebody can understand and relate to. Some are just telling stories about science, some explain science in very simple terms. The first book I'm going to share with you is the one I'm actually reading just now. So I didn't finish it, but until now I found it fascinating. It's called Origins, How the Earth Made Us by Lewis Dartnell. And it's actually an amazing book. It combines a lot of things that I like about geology. So it's about earth science and how actually the tectonic plates form our evolution and our creation. So it's a really fascinating book, and it just explains in so simple terms that anyone can understand. So I'm gonna just read a little bit, just paragraph for you to understand a little bit what it's about. So it says that as a species, we are shaped by our environment. Geological forces drove our evolution in East Africa. So in East Africa, this is where everything related to our species started, East Africa. Mountainous terrains led to the development of democracy in Greece, and today voting behavior in the United States follows the bed of an ancient sea. So it actually shows how Earth and the landscape, the climate, and the changes affect us to our daily life, our voting, our ambitions, our everything. So, and finally, it says the human story is the story of these forces, from plate tectonics and climate change to atmospheric circulation and ocean currents. And I explain a lot more, but just give you an example on what it is about, and it's a fascinating book. And I haven't finished it, but I am really hungry from it, and I'm taking it to the beach and just read about it. It's very pleasant to read also. So the second book I'm going to share with you is called Possessing Genius. And genius is only one man, is Professor Einstein, as you see, and it's just explaining the story behind his brain. So for decades it was stolen, and this pathologist Thomas Harvey was hiding and stole it at first in 1955 when Einstein died, and just tried to find why Einstein was clever. So for decades he was studying, and this fascinating story is captured in this book by journalist Caroline Abraham. It's a bit, strange story of a brain somebody, but we know a lot of the famous people like clothes or even human parts are in museums all over the world, or personal collections. So it is fascinating. And in the end, they found out that it was something in the brain of Einstein that made him so clever. So that's the book, Possessing Genius by Caroline Abraham. The Bizarre Odyssey of Einstein Brain. Totally recommended. The third book comes from UK, and it's about the map that changed the world. I mean, even the title is really amazing. The Map That Changed the World by Simon Winchester, if I pronounce it correctly. So it's about the story of the first geological map of UK that looked like that in 1815. So the first man to make the map, which is historian, is William Smith, and everything just changed from that to that I show you to today's map. Very much more complex than the first one. So the first was very simple, just colors and and okay, some valleys and rivers, but this one is much more complex because of the evolution and the science behind it. So it says about the story of Simon, William Smith, sorry, Simon is the author, and this passion of him about rocks and fossils. So he wanted to do the map of the geology of Britain. That was very, very significant for people to do. So, and that cost him a lot. I mean, he was bankrupt. He went to prison because in UK, I guess you were going to prison if you had a debt. And I think London Bridge, if I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm not. So it says about the story, but it is really fascinating. I just haven't read it for 10 years, over 10 years, but it was and it is still really enlightenment, you know, how someone passionate to create this amazing thing, that the first map that changed at the end of the world, and geology, the science behind it. So, but that also, like everything great, I guess, have the other side of the coin. So he also learns a lot about that. Now the fourth book comes from Daniel Goleman. It's in Greek, but it has also in English. I just bought it in Greek. It's about ecology, intelligence. Ecology intelligence, that's what it says. The book, if I'm correcting. So from Daniel Goleman, just trying to find if it's ecological intelligence. Yeah, I found the title. So ecological intelligence, and it's a very good book because it says about like every product or service that is not only about how it's created, but the whole life cycle of a product. The emissions that produce, that's what the scientists are finding. And, you know, not to say this is a eco product or not. So it's a very good book. And it says it's a very simple because he is not that science, but he talked to a lot of scientists about that. And it's very good. This is about waste and recycling. It explains a little bit about that and how it's important for the planet to go to recycle and, you know, take care of our carbon and emissions and all this, just to reduce them. So that's about that. Now the final book is a book that I have from a child. So you see it's very old. Maybe it's like mostly 30 years now. And it's about little explorers. It's in Greek again. I don't know if it's Walt Disney, okay. But it's, if you have a child and, you know, he's curious, so I don't recommend this book because maybe you don't find it now. But this kind of books are important. So from childhood to have them. And I did love this book. I mean, it says about professions, you know, different professions like, you know, pilot. So it explains a lot about it. I mean, even if you want to, you know, put your tank, it explains you that also. So it just has this information because we didn't have internet then. We didn't have that other information. So it was really a funny book and very interesting to have Indians, and there are, you know, what it means there. I don't know if it's true, but their makeup. So it was an interesting book about, and I was really proud as a child to have this book because it was very rare. I don't have a lot of friends that had that type of books. My girlfriends didn't have this type of books, so I really like that. And we didn't have like groups going to the mountains back then. Now the children do, but we didn't have it. And so it gave me to have that experience through the book, not the actual experience. So this is the 5 books I have on my personal library for, well, many years now. You see, this one's, well, more than 30 years. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And I'll see you next Wednesday with another episode. Make knowledge your superpower, maybe with these 5 books. And I'll see you on next episode.